Good afternoon and welcome to the next in the series of Successful Introvert Workshops. My name's Brian Johnson, host, and it's really great to be here today. And I'm really set up these sessions to share some of my experience, thoughts and learnings over the many years I've worked in, particularly in financial services, and the lessons I've learned as an introvert and what really made the biggest difference to me. And for me, I've really been on a journey over the last sort of four years, recognizing what I enjoyed doing most was helping, guiding, mentoring people rather than what I was actually being paid to do. So I've retrained and refocused on actually coaching and mentoring people and helping people grow and reach their full potential. Because as an introvert, I used to really struggle in an extrovert world and trying to find a way that I could act, which didn't drain my energy, was really important. And the usual advice, just speak up more, doesn't really work. And it took finding wise voices to provide guidance and support to make a difference. So having stepped away from my previous career, I'm really on a new journey and really looking forward to sharing with me. If you've got any questions, please feel free to put a message in chat or just drop me an email or message on social media. I mean, I'm quite a reflective person, which one reason I really love doing these sessions because I continue to learn every time I do them as I walk through the stuff up there and really learn something. So I hope you get something out today. And today we're really focusing on the big and scary interviews. And to be honest, interviews still make me feel nervous, but it's important to remember it's okay to feel nervous. That's just a sign of our body saying, oh, there's some uncertainty. I'm not quite sure the things I should be doing. And it's moving outside that comfort zone and bringing uncertainty into your world. And that sense of feeling nervous and anxious, we have a choice of how we use that energy. We can use it to help us succeed, or we can use it to help us fail. And recognizing we can control the energy we are generating is really important. That's really some of the big picture thinking I really help like working with people. And for me, recognizing the power and how I can use that energy has made it really transformational in my life. I hope you'll get something out of that today. Today, we're really going to go through the three key areas of thinking around interviews, which are around preparing for interviews, strategy for common questions, techniques of handling stress and anxiety. And we're really just going to touch on some really simple, basic techniques. If you want any more information, you can really get in touch and we can have a discussion, help you get it clear so you can succeed the next time you are. So preparing for interviews, it's more than just researching the company. That's quite a straightforward. What I know is company on the website. It's also about researching the people interviewing you. Social media makes it really easy to find most people online, and doing that can be really helpful. Looking at the person. So we, and being able to really summarize the key points. So when you're looking at the company, you're thinking, right, can I summarize what the company does and where it's going in 30 seconds or less? So do I have a big broad picture? Actually, the company is doing this. Its key growth focus areas is this, and this is where it's being the most successful. And that's really looking at the website. And then you're looking at the individuals. So individuals who are interviewing you. How long have they worked there? Because knowing how long someone's worked there will help you think about the type of questions you can ask them. So if someone's been there 20 years, you're going to make sure when you're answering questions, you demonstrate and value the long service. Yeah. And you ask them, what has kept you here for 20 years? What makes this company so great you've stayed there a long time? And where do you see yourself over the next 20 years? Is completely different to someone who's been there just 6 months and has worked with 5 or 6 different people in the same field. So actually, you're thinking about actually what are they getting from working for the company? How long are they going to be there? And beyond, basic how long they work there, you're looking at the background. Do you have anything in common? Do you know people in common? same university, been to different areas. You can see what they've commented on online, they've posted. You get an idea of where their interests are. Because when you remember in interviews, one of the key things you're doing with it is trying to get beyond your CV, which has gone, this CV looks like this person, this organization. The interview is about saying, this is the one I want to work with. That's going beyond. The CV says, yes, you can do the job. The interview is saying, is this a person who wants to fulfill that job? So doing the research and looking at LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, finding out where they are visible, you can then know a bit about the people you're talking to. For instance, I remember a few years ago, one of the people interviewing me, I grew up in Stoke and I went to university in Keele, which is cool. So instant that allowed me to reference that, and we can 5-minute conversation about pubs, and it's just finding that common ground. The local pub university one who did go in occasionally. We weren't quite there at the same time, but all about building a connection. So we had a connection between areas, which build that bit like and trust. And it helps you think about actually the preparation. Okay, I know this person. I look like this in the picture. I know where they worked previously. So, how does this company compare to your previous employer? And then that's really, that research. It's not actually about spending a long time. That's really, researching the company, researching interviewers. It's 1 to 2 hours at max is really making some key notes. Can I summarize the key information about the company and interviews, each one in 30 seconds or less? It's not about having that long feel. And what it's doing is equipping you with information to drop into the conversation. And then preparation, it's always the basic. You know how you're going to get there. You're driving, taking public transport. What's the dress code? Yeah, but moving with that is what mindset. What is your expectation? Think about actually, what am I expecting the outcome of this interview to be? And working on our mindset is really important. Going in there, I expect this to have a really interesting conversation with the interviewers. I know these things about them, and I'm really looking forward to learning a bit more about the company and the role and seeing where I fit to that. You can describe that, talk about it yourself, and actually I feel excited about wanting to go for this job. I guess that's excitement. Just when you're excited, think about when you're excited about things, whatever excites you. Notice how your behavior changes. If you're going there, nervous, I'm feeling really nervous, and I'm really going to talk like this. Do they think they're going to hire you? Is it actually, I'm really excited to be here. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I've looked at what I've looked at makes me really interested. Energy into your voice. Just feel natural. Think about those times you're really excited. Now, it depends what you're into. If you're watching sport, you get really excited about watching whatever sport you're into, football, rugby, motorsport, tennis. What gets you excited and what brings that smile and joy into your face? You just trying to imagine that energy and then that the starting going on. We'll get back to that in a minute. So that's really important, getting your mindset. This is what I know. This really can help you with those strategies, answering some common questions. Simple works well. Preparation is key. And this isn't about creating long monologues. So, the question, key questions are, tell me about myself. Why do you want this job? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your biggest strengths and weaknesses, successes and failures? These questions are really linked to the key skills for the job. And often tell me about yourself is that question there to put you at ease. So, not telling your life history in 2 minutes monologue, which I've heard people do. Myself, and they've told you everything possible about them. And having been on the inside of interviewing someone, that makes it really hard, because actually, what questions are you going to ask? Because I just told you their complete life history, and that just makes it a struggle. So tell me about yourself. Actually, what are you most proud of? What's your history? What's brought you here today? And it's really thinking about actually mentoring someone like this. They told me a whole life history of coming to the UK and how they got interested in that particular area through someone else, and that going to university and studying that. Give a really interesting story. Create a story about actually why they're interested in this particular area, and it's really worth thinking about that. Actually, you're applying for a job, whatever the job is. What is it? Tell you about yourself, which indirectly relates to the type of job you're going. What is your interest in? Again, these answers are on, 30 seconds is really what you're aiming for, highlights, and you're flagging stuff about what you did. So I often, I might talk about leaving school at 16, going out to work and studying evening classes and saving money to pay my own way through university is really the part of my journey. And that's an important bit. I don't go into a huge amount of detail and how that worked, or the reasons I left school. If they're interested, they will ask more questions and expand on that. Just giving them, actually, this is the place to listen. It really relates back to doing that initial research and interviews, because you're picking out bits from, tell me about yourself, which will be of interest to the interviewers. Relate to hobbies in common, relate to your path to applying for this job at this company. You're thinking, actually, what relates in my path to this interview? And getting that structure in place is really helpful, because seeking to build a connection with the person, something that, oh, this is an interesting person, this is a person I want to talk to. No. And it's really practicing these, it's writing it down and thinking through, not having a scripted answer, because unless you've got a brilliant memory and you're an amazing actor, a scripted answer comes across as very monologue. It's thinking it through, so breaking it down into chunks. What this bit and this bit. I have a dozen different antidotes you want to put in, and on the day you pick out 2 or 3 which you feel comfortable. Again, it's building the key structure. Why I want the job, it's really relating about actually, I love what the company do. I see that they're working doing this. I'm excited about the growth, the structure, and where it's going. I really like how the atmosphere comes across. Whatever you picked up from the company research. So do they do lots of community work, for example, or great social club, or whatever links you to them. And again, seeing where you see yourself in 5 years' time is a good question. Actually, I see myself doing this job in 5 years' time. And this is, again, that research and interviews is really helpful there, because if they're both being the same company for all been 20 years, we see himself 5 years' time, he's growing in experience, learning from the more experienced guy, and moving up internally within organizations. That really, that's then more appeal to them than someone who's spent companies every 2 or 3 years. You really with someone who wants to learn new skills, apply what I learn, and give me the opportunity. I will look to use those either internally or externally. But to be honest, what you're thinking, and but really thinking through that is really important. Doing those next steps. Really find myself working through. And that can really break this down one by one. It's really good exercise to spend half an hour on each of the key common questions, really working through them. Maybe even longer ago, actually. These are the key bits. The strengths and weaknesses thing, actually, important to relate that to the job. So, what you see as a strength and weakness. Quite methodical. Just happy to be working there in the background. What is your strength as an introvert? Knowing what your strengths are. You can flip them into weaknesses, because an extrovert was the more weakness. Actually, you're forming part of the team. You use a key cog in the key in there. It's all about personal story, relating things you have done. Yeah, what you're doing. And when you think working through some of these key questions, the key thing you're thinking about is actually, especially it demonstrates they should hire you. What is you building that know, like, and trust in them? You can do the job. You're going to fit within the team. When you're talking about failures, it's about how you moved on from running the path. And yeah, I realised I should have spent more time in the preparation, setting out a clear structure before thinking. And really important lesson I've learned from a different approach. This is really some really important stuff. Really have that thoughts about actually. What did you learn from your failures is what they learned. They want to know how you're going to be better next time. That's really important. Feeling stress and anxiety in interview, it's okay. It's recognizing our body telling us the situation. We don't feel comfortable with this. Is new territory. Talking to people we don't know in a location we don't know. That's okay. A good starting point is to actually spend some time alone in a quiet space, no interruptions, phone off, and write down the 10 things you are feeling stressed and anxious about this interview. No, just write down everything, break it down to minute detail. If I give the wrong answer, what if I stumble over a word? Someone with a stutter and stammer is a big fear of mine, and I recognise I need to control that anxiety, because the more anxious I get about stuttering, the more I stutter. The more I'm aware I'm stuttering, the more I continue to stutter. But I break that cycle. You may not notice that I have a stutter, because if I'm doing something I'm feeling completely comfortable about, I stutter less. On certain grounds, and certain myself, it shows, and that's really, and I know that. And for instance, and I know how to control it. It's all about writing down actually what things can I control. What happens when we're feeling those things? So if you're closing your body up a year, breathing, actually recognizing what relaxes you. Lifting your head up, for example, a great strategy. Look at someone's forehead, look at their eyebrows. Looking at someone's eyes can be really nerve-wracking. Eyebrows, it's really great thing to do. Looking up, you just feel instantly better than looking down. Looking up, looking down. I just noticed how there's a natural change in my voice when I'm looking down or looking up, and that comes across, gives that real confidence as we go about this, and noticing what is causing you stress and what you can do about it. Some of it is changing your body language, breathing. Or it's working through actually why am I anxious like this? Can I control it? Does my anxiety add any value here? Is it making a difference? No. The answer is no. How can I stop more? What do I need to do to stop being anxious? Remember, our anxiety is generally in our control. We have greater or less control of it, and we can choose anger, anxiety, and our stress. Well, sometimes realizing it's in our control is enough to release them. Many techniques we can go through and release of stress. I mean, one of the things that interestingly I found really helpful in the past with some training is really ended up, which I can breathe out my stress into. I stress. It's there. I can use a box away from me. It's the techniques you can learn. Being curious about what is causing the problem. And then just spend some time recognizing when you feel successful, those feelings. The joy. I think about nice, relaxing time sitting on the sun shining, watching the kids playing in the sea, going for a swim in the surf. Instantly changes how I feel. Learning how to recall those feelings, so you're walking through the think of a nice, relaxed state. Change how you feel. Practice recalling them. When I do a successful interview, when I get the job, this is how I'm going to feel. Going in there, do that. This is what you can take simple preparation. What's that small talk? Walking to and from the interview room. Usually, going to be about your journey. Talk about your journey. How was your journey today? Come out in the office. I've been here before, so I haven't been before. That area, I know this area. I quite like this. Is thinking, making those that small talk. Actually thinking, what am I going to talk about? Intentional preparation can help reduce this. Making eye contact, looking at the eyebrows, can really help. Feel uncomfortable with someone's eyes, look at the eyebrows, and nice firm handshake, not tight, just grip so they can feel you there. Helps me deal with the stress. What's the worst that's going to happen? If you don't succeed, you'll be no worse off than the moment you walk into the worst outcome is no change. Best outcome is you get that dream job. Often this is what we're really thinking about, dealing with the stress. Now, today we really rushed through some of the key common areas. I hope it's been really, really helpful. If you really want any more information, to reach out. If you'd love to have a quick cheat sheet based on these slides, again, please reach out. I'm always happy to share. But what you do differently? You can succeed at interviews. You can feel relaxed and confident. You don't need to have that level of stress. Actually working out what you're going to do next and what's really next for you is the key step. But what are you going to do differently now as you prepare for it? And are you going to set yourself up for the future? I'd really love to know what you're doing. Preparation is always the key. The more you prepare, the more you feel comfortable, the less stress and less anxious you are going to feel. Well, thanks for your time today. I hope you found it really helpful. It's a really interesting subject. At the beginning, I'm quite a reflective person. It's amazing you can do preparation and you get different thoughts and different thoughts and ideas come to your mind as you're presenting what you're preparing. I just love the learning. It's just really, really, for me, it's been really helpful just to reinforce some of the things in there. And I really hope you got learned something from it. If you want to know more, please feel free to reach out. I'm always here to help. You can email me at brian@brianpauljohnson.com or send the QR code and book some time on my diary. I look forward to speaking to you at some point, and enjoy the bank holiday weekend. I will see you next week, same time.